30 seconds on your phone. That's all it takes. You see someone ahead. Better job, better body, better life. Something inside you sinks. Marcus Aurelius felt this exact poison. Here's his cure. You open your phone. You see someone your age who's further ahead. Better job, better body, better life. At least that's what the highlight reel shows you. And something inside you sinks. Not rage. Worse. That quiet, corrosive feeling that maybe you're falling behind. That maybe you're not enough. Comparison is the thief that doesn't break in. You invite it. You pick up your phone and hand it the keys to your self-worth. And it robs you silently, every single day. Here's the math. The average man checks his phone over 100 times a day. Each time, there's a chance he sees someone doing better, or what looks like better. A friend's promotion, a stranger's physique, a peer's vacation, an old classmate's success. And every single exposure creates a micro wound. Not enough to notice individually, but over days, weeks, months, they add up to a quiet erosion of confidence. The Stoics didn't have social media, but they had the same problem. Rome was a status-obsessed culture. Wealth was displayed openly. Political rank was everything. Seneca was one of the richest men alive and still wrote about the trap of measuring yourself against others. Marcus Aurelius was literally the most powerful person on earth and still caught himself comparing his abilities to those of his predecessors. This isn't a modern disease, it's a human one, and the Stoics were the first to diagnose it clearly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others, except when you are concerned with some unselfish purpose." Plain English, every minute you spend thinking about someone else's life is a minute stolen from building your own. And you're not even seeing their real life. You're seeing the version they chose to show you. This is the fundamental lie of comparison. You're measuring your full, messy, complicated inner experience against someone else's curated exterior. You know your doubts, your failures, your 3 a.m. fears. You see their wins, their confidence, their carefully selected moments. It's not a fair comparison. It's not even a real comparison. It's fiction versus your reality. Marcus Aurelius saw this clearly in Roman society. Every senator presented himself as powerful and certain. Behind closed doors, they were scheming, terrified, and insecure. The image was a weapon, designed to make others feel small. And Marcus refused to play the game. He focused relentlessly on his own character, his own duties, his own growth. The habit that breaks this: the next time you see someone's success and feel that sink in your stomach, pause and ask, what am I not seeing? You're not seeing their sleepless nights, their anxiety, their failing marriage, their self-doubt. You're seeing a highlight reel. Don't compare your behind the scenes to someone else's trailer. Epictetus wrote, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Plain English, the moment you start measuring yourself against other people, you stop measuring yourself against your own potential. And your potential is the only metric that actually matters. Here's what comparison actually does to your brain. It shifts your benchmark from internal to external. Instead of asking, "Am I better than I was last month?" which you can always answer honestly, you start asking, "Am I better than that person?" which is impossible to answer because you don't actually know their situation. The Stoics measured progress internally. Marcus Aurelius didn't compare himself to previous emperors to feel good or bad. He compared himself to his own principles. Did I act with justice today? Did I show courage? Did I waste time on things that don't matter? Those questions have real answers. Am I more successful than my neighbor? Doesn't. The man who runs his own race at his own pace will always outperform the man who's constantly looking sideways, because the first man is focused, the second is distracted, and distraction is the enemy of every kind of growth. The habit that breaks this: start a nightly one-line journal. Just one sentence. Today I was better than yesterday because... It doesn't have to be dramatic. I held my temper when I would have snapped. I worked 30 minutes on my project instead of scrolling. I had a real conversation with my kid. Your benchmark becomes yourself, and that's a race you can actually win. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor." Plain English. When you feel envy, don't fight it. Read it. Envy isn't telling you that you're a failure. It's telling you what you actually want. Use it as a compass, not a weapon against yourself. Most men treat envy as a verdict. He has what I want. Therefore, I'm less than him. But the Stoics would reframe it completely. Envy is information. If you feel a stab of jealousy when you see someone's creative work, that's your own creativity screaming to be used. If you feel it when someone has a great relationship, that's your heart telling you to invest in connection. If you feel it about someone's discipline, that's the version of you that wants to be more consistent, asking you to start. The problem isn't the envy. The problem is what you do with it. Most men stew in it. They let it curdle into resentment. They find reasons to diminish the person they're envious of. He got lucky. He had advantages. He doesn't deserve it. That's poison. It makes you smaller. The Stoic approach: feel the envy. Identify what it's pointing to. Then redirect that energy into your own work. Use the other person's success as proof that what you want is possible, not as proof that you're failing. The habit that breaks this: the next time you feel envious, write down, "I'm envious of Lars because oakak." Then write, "What this tells me about what I actually want is walk." Then write, "One thing I can do this week toward it that is walk." You've just turned a destructive emotion into a roadmap. Here's a 7-day comparison detox. Day 1 to 3. Track your triggers. Every time you feel the comparison sting, the scroll that makes you feel less, the conversation that leaves you deflated, write it down. Person, platform, context. Day 4. Look at the list. You'll notice patterns. Maybe it's always Instagram. Maybe it's always one specific person. Maybe it's always about money, or fitness, or relationships. The pattern is your vulnerability map. Day 5. Reduce exposure. Mute, unfollow, or limit the top 3 triggers. This isn't weakness, it's strategy. A Stoic protects his mind the way a general protects his camp. You don't leave the gates open for the enemy and call it bravery. Day 6. Replace the comparison with your own metrics. Write down 3 areas of genuine growth in your life over the last year. Things you're better at now than you were 12 months ago. Evidence that you're moving forward on your own terms. Day 7. Set your benchmark for the next month, not be as successful as X. Instead, be more consistent than last month in one specific area. Own your lane. Marcus Aurelius had the whole world and still had to remind himself not to measure his worth against other men. That should tell you something. Comparison isn't a symptom of having too little. It's a symptom of looking in the wrong direction. Your life is happening right now, not in someone else's feed, not in some imagined future where you've caught up. Right now. And every second you spend comparing is a second you're not building. The Stoics understood that the only meaningful progress is internal. The man who grows in wisdom, character, and purpose, even slowly, is winning. The man who looks rich on the outside but feels empty on the inside has lost a game he didn't even know he was playing. Run your race, at your pace, in your lane, and stop looking sideways. If this helped you, hit subscribe and stay close. Drop a comment below. Which point landed hardest? I read every reply. We're building this together.